In the words of the late, great Andrew Breitbart, war. Hi there. My name is Charles Ray Dawson. I am the associate broker and residential sales manager for ProStar Realty and leader of the underground resistance. At least I'm feeling that today, so hold on for a second. I'll be right back. And the key to all good rebellions is logistics, boys and girls. So amateurs talk tactics, professionals talk logistics. So anyways, so I hope you guys are having a really good day. Today is September the 11th, 2025. One of those great dates in history. I'll probably be sticking with me for the rest of my life. Following up another date in history yesterday that is going to be sticking with a lot of people for a lot longer than you might think today. And the day after our great brand new sales meeting theory, and it was an unmitigated shit show. So people have already heard me rant about exactly how it went, and it went about as well as I expected it to. In fact, it's almost like I was a prophet, like Saint Cassandra came down upon high and inhabited my body and spoke the truth, and I said, this is what's going to happen. And sure enough, that's what happened. So that's the thing. So, and as I'm sitting here on Thursday, trying to get my day all organized and stuff like that, pulling in all the numbers, this and that, like, what the hell am I going to talk about? And then this reoccurring of the 17 different thoughts and everything going on in my brain right now. Two things. Okay, the first one was that quote from Andrew Breitbart that I used on the teaser, which was, yes, melodramatic, but there's something about that particular video. And if you know which one I'm talking about, you know which one I'm talking about. If you don't, go back to your gray life. But that concept of, okay, when the going gets weird, the word go professional is really starting to drive home for me right now. It's for my FBI agent handler who's watching this video. No, not that or anything like that, but mostly when it comes to real estate. Where literally, we had an agent go out there and she didn't walk into an ambush, okay, but she went to show a house, and then there was a person there who was representing themselves as an agent, then argued with her over the buyer broker. Like, what's this? Okay, warning, that's not an agent. That person may say they're an agent, okay. They might have been licensed one upon a time, but if at this point on September 11th, 2025, if an individual agent cannot tell you what a buyer broker is, that's a problem. Okay, that's a person who should not be licensed and should not be allowed to do whatever the hell it is they think they're doing. The other thing is, why is there another agent there that's not tied into it? Oh, friend of the family. Well, why the hell aren't you working with him? So, wasted my girl's time. A little pissy about that. Well, we managed to turn it into a decent little training thing. We also had another, thing come in. Same, different scenario, except with this listing. These are really good learning experiences that I think the group as a whole could learn. These are the things I like to bring out in my sales meetings. Instead, sales meetings turn into, let's just chit chat. And since we have a limited time and we don't have time for chit chat, I have to then shut the chit chat down, which is weird because I'm usually the one babbling in the corner. All right. When I'm the voice of reason in a situation, the world has gone dreadfully wrong. All right. So, yeah, you guys are my therapist, so just stand back, all 6 viewers of you and whatnot. So, being able to bring out those two experiences and have a guided conversation through them is a beautiful thing. It allows the other agents who have not had those experiences yet to understand potential scenarios they might be walking into. All right. These are really important things. It is really hard to get that concept across to people who have been licensed for 30 years and the senility is kicking in and they can't remember what it's like to be a new agent. All right, so I'm really getting like this generational thing going on right now, and I'm really trying to tamp that down. But I had a music teacher once, right? Brilliant, brilliant. All right. He was classically trained, went to the conservatory, whatever the biggest conservatory in Canada is. He went to it. Really lousy teacher. All right. And with all the love in my heart, he was so far removed from having to learn music because he was playing the piano at 4. He didn't know how to teach people who didn't know anything. Right? And that's something very important when you're instructing people. All right. Is you can never assume they know everything. Right? And you have to train them in an orderly progression, making sure they have the definitions for things. So you're speaking the same language, making sure they see how it fits into the big picture. And this is sort of coming to a head this week. I mean, I got an agent out there with a listing that's about to expire. And I've seen him once in the office. His listing sucks. All right, and he's been under the tutelage of another agent here in ProStar. And I talked to that agent yesterday and said, "Hey, what's going on?" All right, he hadn't reviewed the listing himself. Okay, so I guess I can't outsource work to you. All right, so that's one of these things we came across. You remember a conversation I was having? I might have mentioned this last week. Is that we got commercial agents who think they can slum in residential. They don't know what they don't know, but in their mind, they're higher up on the food chain than residential agents, so they just naturally assume they know what to do. They're going to cost us, and they're going to cost ProStar money, okay, if they're allowed to carry on. And I've expressed my concerns, to management and stuff like that, and we'll see if anything comes of it. So, the other thing that's really getting me going is in the limited amount of time that I had, and this is the documentation that I was going to discuss, all right? I pulled the article. In the time that we had left, I wanted to go over the seven C's of highly successful real estate agents. And it's one of those things, if you heard it a million times, it's still good to review it. And just ask yourself, am I still doing these things? All right? And it helps reinforce that in agents. It's like, hey, when was the last time you talked to a client that you closed recently? All right? This is what I wanted to do. This is what I got instead. Because one of the other managers here in the office, who's really desperately trying to hijack my time that I've set up with people to insert her own time, literally comes in, and the word she says was, "Well, this is the kind of things that Ray poo-poos," and then she puts this in front of me. And I don't know what kind of new age hippie crap this is, but I'm going to read it to you. Okay? And if this resonates with you in any way, shape, or form, if you're sitting here going, "Wow, that makes a lot of sense. I want to try that," stop what you're doing. Give me a call, because you're heading into the cult, and I need to deprogram you. All right? This is from a book called From Ask and It Is Given by Esther and Jerry Hicks. Unfortunate last name there. All right? It's called The Wallet Process. All right? Process number 15. All right? When you want to attract more money into your experience, when you want to improve the way you currently feel about money in order to allow even more to flow into your life, when you want to get your juices flowing regarding your specific desire, and when you feel that there is a shortage of money in your life, this is what you do. You obtain a $100 bill and you put it in your wallet or purse. Right? You keep it with you at all times, and whenever you hold your wallet or purse, remember that your $100 bill is in there. Feel pleased that it is there, and remind yourself often of the added sense of security that it brings to you. As you move through your day, take note of the many things you could purchase with your $100. By holding a $100 bill and not spending it right away, you receive the vibrational advantage of it every time you even think about it. If you spent it on the first thing you notice, you would only receive the benefit of really feeling your financial well-being only once. But if you mentally spend that $100 20 or 30 times in that day, you will have received the vibrational feeling of advantage of having spent $2,000 or $3,000. If I could have that, I could have that, I have the ability to purchase that. And because you really do have the means to do just that, because you are not pretending something that is not, there is no hindering doubt or disbelief muddying the waters of your financial flow. This was presented at my brokerage yesterday as actual training for my agents. This is called Hopium. Hopium is on the periodic table right next to copium. Okay? This doesn't work. If wishes were fishes, all right, this even had a little, fake $1,000 bill you could put in your wallet. That's the Post calling me with the latest drama of the day. I'm not talking to them right now. The other one on this was playing the prosperity game, where you have a fake check ledger. And on your checking ledger, you sit there and you add $1,000 each day, and then you write imaginary checks out for imaginary purchases. Same thing, the vibrations, all right? Any one time you guys see me, I'm carrying between $200 or $300 in my, possession, all right? I've never once felt it vibrate. I want you guys to be proud of me, because as I'm reading this and we're going up, I resisted the urge to throw a $100 bill on the table, look at it, and say, I'm waiting for it to vibrate. All right. If I was an adolescent, I would have figured out how to pull out a condom, throw that on the table, and say, I am not having sex with these beautiful women, but I know I have the opportunity because I have a condom in my wallet. So, Hopium. All right. Yeah, last week we were talking about doing the thing. Okay. Hopium is not a solution. Let me repeat that for the slow ones in the back. Hoping something will get better is not a solution. Okay. Hoping your real estate life, your real estate career will get better is not a solution. Getting information on the situation you're in, devising a plan, devising a set series of actions, and moving aggressively with those set series of actions is what is going to get you where you want to be. All right. And if it doesn't get you where you want to be, it at least will get you out of where you are. Right? And if you want to be somewhere else, by definition, you don't want to be where you're at. Sometimes I wonder if I just talk to myself, because, it's like I'm like literally just talking to myself and like going, yeah, Ray, what the hell? Why are you so smart with a camera on? And the little light turns off and you just turn into a moron. So I don't know. Maybe I just work better in front of an audience. You are my favorite audience, guys. Okay, so watch your children and pets around water, because I do not want sadness to enter into your life, right? Don't drive with anything flooded, because I do not want you washed away down to to the Pacific Ocean. All right? Work your circles, okay, especially in weeks like this, all right? You cannot influence the events across the country, but you can influence the events within arm's reach of you. And sometimes that's punching a hippie, okay? But don't do that either, right? Call your mother if you suddenly want to punch a hippie, right? And, of course, you guys have a great weekend. All things considered, it's still best to be an American. See you guys later.